Hey everybody, this is Willie at New and Lost Crafts, and today I'm doing some pressure canning of some potatoes. I found a great deal on potatoes the other day, and so all I've done was taken a bunch of them and cubed them into more or less half-inch squares. I did run a really light brine solution over them for about 2 minutes, so I just let them soak for 2 minutes and then drain them, and that is a 1 teaspoon per quart of water. And the only reason for doing that is to help so they don't brown after you can them and kind of discolor. So what I'm going to do now is cook them, just boil them for about 2 minutes, and then we're going to stick them in cans. And one thing I'm excited about today is that I am going to be testing for the first time some reusable canning lids. These are from a company called Tattler, and they're expensive at first, but if you do enough canning, I think they'll end up paying for themselves. But I haven't used them yet, and so we'll see how that works out. So I'm going to boil some potatoes. I'll show you a little bit about putting the potatoes in the jars, and then when we go to use these, I'll show that as well. So I'll be back. Alright, just a quick shot. The potatoes are in the water, so once that comes back to a boil, a visible boil, I'll time it for 2 minutes and then take it back off the heat, and we will jar them / can them from there. Okay, so time's up on 2 minutes, so we'll turn this guy off, take this off that burner, go ahead and let them cool down. Well, not cool down, but put the lid on them, and then I'm going to go ahead and get my canning jars out. I've already got my canning funnel, which just ran through the dishwasher. We're going to hot pack these with the liquid from the pod here. So at first I'm going to concentrate on getting the potatoes in the jars, but then we will fill that up with liquid to about 1 inch from the top, and then we will put some lids on, which are also sitting in the dishwasher ready to go. So I've already done 1 jar, just making sure I have my rhythm down there a little bit. You can see the Tattler lid on top there. I'll show you a little bit more about that. So all I have is a standard ladle here that I'm doing this with, and then if you don't have one of these canning funnels, these are invaluable. It makes it a lot easier to not make a mess and to have a lot more success with your seals, because you don't get that surface messy. So I'll take the ladle, go ahead and drain out the liquid at first, or at least most of it, and then we're going to put a nice full ladle full in there, and that almost does it with these guys. Put a few more chunks in, and that's about it. And then following right behind that, I'm just going to get the liquid. And we're going to fill it up. I like to go to this bottom edge here, maybe a little bit below. Alright. Alright, so then when you take this guy out, your edge should be fairly clean. I'm still going to take a paper towel and just quickly wipe the edges to make sure that it's dry. So I guess the rim. And then here's the Tattler lid. So they come with O-rings, and then this is the wide mouth version here. They make the regular mouth ones also. I just clean these in the dishwasher. Whenever I'm pressure canning something, I don't worry too much about keeping things as sterile as you would with just a hot water bath, because it's going to go into a pressure canner and get awfully hot and sterile as it is. But so that's when the dishwasher is nice, just get things nice and clean. And so just make sure that that gasket is in place. Put it right on top of there. These things are really nice. And then use just a standard lid ring. And these lids with the O-ring are quite a bit thicker because of the gasket. So when you're going to can, you just want them finger tight, because you're going to exhaust the gases from inside of the jar, which is kind of the whole point. So finger tight, and then when we pull them out of the canner, as they cool down, we're going to tighten down on them a bit per the instructions. And then once they cool down, you should be able to take the rings off, and they should be sealed down tight. But we'll see how it works. This is pretty cool. Small run for canning. I'm just using my little tiny pressure vessel today, so I didn't want to do a bunch. So I may not even be able to fit that fifth little guy in there. We'll see how it goes. But anyhow, about an inch of water on the bottom with the false bottom there. And according to, for the food preservation, or at least one of them, especially when it comes to canning, stocking up, is that we want to get these at 10 pounds, 10 psi of pressure for about 40 minutes, and we'll be good to go. If you don't have this book, I'd recommend it. I'll put a link to where you can get this one on the blog as well. And I'll also put a link to where you can get these reusable lids. I've heard enough good things about them at this point that even though they're a little bit pricey up front, nobody's saying anything bad about them as long as you use them properly. So I'll put a link on there for you as well. Okay, I just wasn't able to get the last little guy in there, so I think I might do another quick run, since this is my little one and it goes fairly quickly anyway. And I might even be able to squeeze out another small jar from what I have left. So maybe I'll do 2 little tiny jars right after these 4. But anyhow, 10 pounds, 40 minutes. Once it gets up to pressure, I'll show it to you rocking, and I'll show you the time, and then we'll go from there. Okay, just wanted to show we're in a nice gentle rocking motion. My weight is again set at 10 pounds, and thing of beauty. So we're going for 40 minutes. It's already been going for about 4 minutes. I already set the time once it started doing its thing. So I'll be back when it's done and cooled off, and we'll open her up and see what we got inside. Okay, so this is cooled down now, and we can open it up and see what happened. And the instructions with the Tattler stuff say go ahead and get them out and tighten them right away. Everything's looking good. And let's go ahead and tighten them down. I'm going to tighten the the lids down at this point with this type of Tattler lid. Help them seal. It makes sense. And these aren't going to pop like your traditional lid. But everything's looking beautiful. And alright, there we go. I'll put these all back on the cloth to cool off overnight. So we tightened them down. try to make that seal as best as we can. And, you know, I'm just going to let them sit until the morning, and we'll follow up in the morning and unscrew the lids and see, or unscrew the rings, right, and see if the lids stay put. And that'll be the real test. Okay, so here they are out of the canner, and I guess first glance at these, I'm a little bit shocked. It's as if all the liquid is gone from them. So I don't notice a lot more on the bottom. So I'm going to assume that we're okay and do what the directions call and go ahead and tighten these lids down. Interesting. I'm going to have to read up about that a little bit. Hopefully I didn't do something weird here. Alright, so I'm going to tighten each of these like the Tattler directions call for. And I'm assuming we won't hear these guys pop like you usually do with the normal lids. Alright. Everybody, so actually this is kind of cool. It's been about 3 months since that last clip, and we've actually eaten a couple of these jars of potatoes already. But I wanted to show you what they look like well after the fact. So the brine solution that I mentioned up front in the video seems to have done a really good job. And I did discover the reason for my low liquid is that I cooled down the pressure canner too fast. So on the second batch I ended up doing a better job, and this was on the second batch, but the others were just fine. They just didn't have as much liquid with them, so we use those more for like mashed potatoes. But these are still delicious, and as you can see, the Tattler lid doing just fine. I've been really impressed with them, and will continue to endorse them. So go get yourself a set if you haven't. It'll save you some money long term. They go in the dishwasher, no problem. It's good stuff. You have to operate them a little bit differently, but they work just fine. So anyway, signing off. This is Willie at newandlostcrafts.com. Another kind of long-term storage video for you guys. If you have any suggestions on other things you would like to see, please let me know. Come to the video blog site. It's newandlostcrafts.com. Or go ahead and make a comment for me on YouTube if that's where you're watching this video. Thanks a lot, and take care.